pro-life campaigners have conceded defeat in a landmark referendum on abortion in Ireland. The Save the Eighth campaign, who want the existing ban on abortion in Ireland to remain in place, conceded defeat as counting was underway in the Irish referendum. Exit polls showed a landmark victory for the Yes camp, with early predictions giving them as much as 70% of the vote. As the law stands, abortion in Ireland is illegal except for emergency medical intervention to save the mother's life. Indian dentist Savita Halappanavar died in hospital in Galway aged 31 when she was refused an abortion during a miscarriage. Reuters. Millions of people headed to the polls to vote yesterday in an effort to have the law changed. In a statement, Save the Eighth Communications Director John McGurk said, "The unborn child no longer has a right to life recognized by the Irish state. Shortly, legislation will be introduced that will allow babies to be killed in our country. We will oppose that legislation." Ireland PM Leo Varadkar casts his vote in Dublin, PA, if and when abortion clinics are opened in Ireland. Because of the inability of the government to keep their promise about a GP-led service, we will oppose that as well. Every time an unborn child has his or her life ended in Ireland, we will oppose that, and make our voices known. Earlier, an exit poll by national broadcaster Root suggested almost 70% of the electorate sided with the Yes camp. A voter leaves a polling station in Dublin. Getty Images. Another poll by the Irish Times recorded 68% in favour of ending the country's all-but blanket ban on terminations. The formal result is due later this afternoon. The polling data suggests a huge gulf in views held by Ireland's youngest and oldest generations. Voters make their way to and from a polling station situated at St Anne's National School in Dublin. Getty Images. Both exit surveys recorded support for the Yes camp at approaching 90% among 18 to 24-year-olds. By contrast, the over 65 group was the only age bracket to vote no, with around 60% wanting to retain the Eighth Amendment. Urban areas appear to have been more strongly in favor of repeal, at just over 70%. But according to the polls, rural areas also voted yes, with around 60 to 63% in favor. Dublin had the highest yes vote of around 78%. A mother pushes a pram past a placard for the No campaign in Dublin. Getty Images. In Leinster, just under two-thirds of voters, 66%, backed liberalisation, with a similar figure in Munster. In Connacht, Ulster, the figure was slightly lower at around 61%. Taoiseach Leo Varadkar thanked voters for taking part in the referendum, tweeting, "It's looking like we will make history tomorrow." A woman campaigns for the Yes vote in Dublin. Reuters. Ireland's Deputy Premier, Tánaiste Simon Coveney, said the referendum had made him proud to be Irish. "Thank you to everybody who voted today. Democracy can be so powerful on days like today. Looks like a stunning result that will bring about a fundamental change for the better," he tweeted late on Friday night. Health Minister Simon Harris tweeted, "We'll sleep tonight in the hope of waking up to a country that is more compassionate, more caring and more respectful." A Yes supporter dons a t-shirt ahead of the expected landslide win for legalizing abortion. Reuters. The leader of the Alliance Party in Northern Ireland, Naomi Long, said it appeared to be an incredible result for. She tweeted, "Eyes will now turn to us, yet again a place apart. Behind Ireland." UK Minister for Women and Equality's Penny Mordaunt said it was a historic. Prominent No campaigner Cora Sherlock expressed disappointment at the polls. "Exit polls, if accurate, paint a very sad state of affairs tonight," she tweeted late on Friday. "But those who voted no should take heart. Abortion on demand would deal Ireland a tragic blow, but the pro-life movement will rise to any challenge it faces." Let's go into tomorrow with this in mind. Thousands of Irish citizens living overseas traveled home in droves to exercise their democratic right on the emotive issue. The vote saw citizens effectively opt to either retain or repeal the Eighth Amendment of the state's constitution, which prohibits terminations unless a mother's life is in danger. The specific question people were asked was whether they wanted to see the Eighth Amendment replaced with wording in the Constitution that would hand politicians the responsibility to set future laws on abortion, unhindered by constitutional strictures. Ministers have promised to allow terminations within the first 12 weeks, subject to medical advice and a cooling-off period, and between 12 and 24 weeks in exceptional circumstances. The liberalization campaign gathered momentum in 2012 after an Indian dentist, Savita Halappanavar, died in hospital in Galway age of 31 when she was refused an abortion during a miscarriage. Her husband, Praveen Halappanavar, said she repeatedly asked for a termination, but was refused because there was a fetal heartbeat. In 2013, following an outcry over Mrs. Halappanavar's death, legislation was amended to allow terminations under certain tightly restricted circumstances, the Protection of Life During Pregnancy Act. When doctors felt a woman's life was at risk due to complications from the pregnancy, or from suicide, they were permitted to carry out an abortion. Under pressure from the UN about alleged degrading treatment of women who traveled to England for terminations, the Irish government began exploring the possibility of further reform, culminating in the calling of Friday's referendum and the promise to legislate